Today we are working on multi-step consumer application problems, which just means they're multi-step problems that have real-life applications. And we're going to present conclusions. So please copy the standard benchmark indicator on a clean page in your math notebook. The student will solve multi-step consumer application problems and present conclusions. Lesson 3, Estimation Practice. Solve each problem below. Be sure to show all the steps. 1. Rephrase the question in your own words. 2. List the important facts. 3. Solve it with explanations of what and why you did. And 4. Check it. If you need to, show your work on a separate sheet. Number 1. Rudy had $64 to spend. He spent $18 on a haircut, $22 on shoes, and $7 for a movie ticket. About how much does Rudy have left? So in step 1, rephrase the question in your own words. We need to find out how much money Rudy has after he's done all his errands. Step 2, list the important facts. So we know he has $64 to spend, spent $18 on a haircut, $22 on shoes, and $7 on a movie ticket. So, step 1, rephrase the question in our own words. We need to find out how much money Rudy has left after his errands. Step 2, list the important facts. He has $64 to spend, spent $18 on a haircut, $22 on shoes, and $7 on a movie ticket. So we're going to write those out. Now, because we're estimating, we're going to round each of the things he spent money on. So 18 and 22 will both round to 20, and the 7 rounds to 10. Now we're going to add up the rounded numbers. So 20 plus 20 plus 10 is 50. Now we're going to take $64, subtract the 50, and Rudy has about $14 left. Number 2, the Theater of the Natural Science and History Museum was filled to capacity for its 276 shows this fall. The theater holds 35 people. About how many people attended the shows? First, we need to rephrase it in our own words. So we need to find out how many people attended the theater last fall. Next, we need to write the important information down. 276 shows, 35 people per show. Next, since we're estimating, we're going to round 276 to 300, and the people, which is 35, will round to 40. Now we're going to multiply the two numbers together to get about how many people ended the show. So 300 times 40 gets us about 12,000. So about 12,000 people attended the shows last fall. Number 3, Maria collected souvenirs from each place she visited on her trip. She collected 156 colored leaves and 124 rocks. About how many more colored leaves did she collect than rocks? So first we need to rephrase it in our own words. We want to know how many more leaves than rocks she got. So now we're going to write down the important information. 156 leaves, 124 rocks. Next, since we're estimating, we're going to round both of them off. So the leaves will round to 160 and the rocks to 120. Next, since we want to find out how many more she collected of leaves and rocks, we need to subtract. So 160 minus 120 gives us 40. So she collected about 40 more leaves than rocks. Number 4. The Forest Service estimates that 3,645 people visited the Cradle of Forestry in the past 31 days. About how many people visited the attraction each day? First, we need to rephrase the question in our own words. So we need to find out how many people visited per day. Next, we need to write down the important information. 3,645 people visited in the past 31 days. Next, since it's estimating, we're going to round. And since it's division, we want to use compatible numbers. So we're going to round 3,645 to 3,600. And we're going to round 31 to 30. So next we're going to divide 3,600 divided by 30. And we know 30 is going to go into 3,600 120 times. So about 120 people visited the Cradle of Forestry each day. For this page, the multi-step consumer application problems, we're going to read and solve and show our work. So we're finding the exact answer here. Number 1, Henry bought 3.5 pounds of onions and 5.25 pounds of tomatoes. If the tomatoes are 99 cents per pound and the onions are 59 cents per pound, how much will Henry spend at the grocery store? So the first thing we're going to do is take the 3.5 and the 5.25 and change them into decimals so our multiplying is easier. Next, we're going to start with the onions. We have 3.5 pounds of onions, and they're 59 cents per pound. So when we go to write that, we're going to write 0.59 because we're going to put it in dollars. So we're going to do 3.5 times 59 hundredths. And now we're just going to multiply through to figure out how much he spent on onions. And now we have to put the decimal in because there are 3 places after the decimal in our factors. We need 3 in our answer, so it's going to go right after the 2. Next, we're going to take the 5 1/4 pounds of tomatoes and multiply it by 0.99 because they're 99 cents per pound. Right, now we need to put our decimal in. We have 4 places after the decimal in our factors. We need 4 in our answer, so it's going to go between the 5 and the 1. The next step now is to add the 2 decimals together to figure out how much he spent in total. And it's important when adding decimals to make sure you line up the decimal place. So I added an extra 0 onto the onions just so everything lines up. And so now we're just going to go through and add. Now we know that the smallest unit of money we have is a penny, so we need to round us to the nearest hundredth. So Henry spent $7.26. And there's our answer. Number 2, 17 tourists purchased 2 posters each. The total cost for all the posters is $168.30. How much did each poster cost? So the first thing we have to do is we have 17 tourists who each got 2 posters. So we need to do 17 times 2 is 34. So we have 34 posters that total cost $168.30. So now we need to divide $168.30 by 34. So our first step is estimating. We have to figure out about how many times we think 34 can go into 168, and then we do some multiplying on the side. So why don't we try 34 times 4 to start with to check and see. So that gets us 136. We're going to try 34 times 5 just to make sure we're as close as we can go. All right, so we know 5 is too big, so we're going to put the 4 up and do our subtraction. Now we've got 323 for 34 to go into. 34 times 10 would be 340, so let's try 9. And then we've got 170, which we already know 34 goes into 5 times. So each poster costs $4.95. Make sure you have copied down all of the work on both pages and glue both pages in your math notebook.